like, I mean, for what I'm trying to do, I don't see the value in it because I'm not trying to basically be a professional rapper.
Okay.
So I just I'll put this out. You could get it. You could stream it on Bandcamp if you want to. You could buy it on Bandcamp. I'll fucking give it to somebody for free.
Yeah, if they email or something.
If they email me, but I don't want to enable those industries that don't actually support artists.
I hear you.
And I think that they sort of were brilliant in that they tricked the music industry to thinking that they were the indispensable tool.
Yeah, I'm torn, man. I think that it's very unfortunate, but I think they are an indispensable tool. Not them, the company, but the tool of streaming music itself is indispensable. It's run by capitalists. You know what I mean? Capitalism, but yeah, I gotta put my stuff on there just because I want more people to hear it and stuff.
I mean, I'm all for capitalism because Bandcamp is essentially capitalism, but it's more of a bottom-up capitalism than it is a top-down capitalism.
Or it's just ran by people who have made it clear that they're not like, our goal is money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Spotify has that goal, and it is what it is. It's fine. I get really confused when these companies are in a position to just change the game and be looked at it. Still be multi-billionaires, be looked at as angels, and they don't.
No. Yeah,
you could be an angel.
They could be, yeah.
Double 3 cents to 6 cents, and people would start praising at your feet. I don't know, maybe I know for sure they wouldn't lose as much as they pretend they would lose.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you could put it to 3 cents per stream and raise everybody's fee $1.
But you'd be looked at as an angel.
Yeah. I mean, Netflix is going up to $15, and everybody's going to pay $15 for Netflix.
No one's going to blink.
Yeah.
More people are going to sign up.
Yeah.
I just heard Chappelle got a thing. No, Chappelle got a thing a while ago.
Eddie Murphy.
Those already came out. Eddie Murphy. Did you hear how
70
much?
million, yeah.
70 fucking million?
Yeah.
They were talking about... So what's been announced is one special, but people are like, there's no way that it's one special. He's also going to do a movie or a series or 2 or 3 specials or whatever. They're not giving him 70 million.
I mean, Chappelle's was announced that way too. It was like,
wasn't it like 25 million or something?
Yeah, but it was for like one special, but then it ended up being actually for 4 specials.
It was 4.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm going to go back and watch, but I'll bet out of those 4 specials, I probably loved 1.5.
About the same for me. I thought the second 2 were really good.
I can't remember the differences or orders.
Yeah, there was because there was the first 2 that came out, and I just thought they seemed like they were just old recycled material.
Were they all small, raw looking shows? I can remember them visually. They all looked really small, like he wasn't at a big.
I think the first 2 were kind of small. It was almost like maybe a room the size of like Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah,
and then he did a bigger space, like sort of maybe a theater.
So he did a huge one, not a stadium,
but like a Beacon
theater
theater type of size place. And then he did like a small room for one of them, and that was really the
when he was
killer
smoking.
One. I think it was the one where he was smoking. Yeah, it was just like a really small comedy room in San Francisco somewhere.
He's funny, man.
Yeah, he's fucking brilliant.
I just watched Eddie Murphy on the Seinfeld.
I just watched that this morning too.
Eddie Murphy's fucking weird, man.
He's so weird. How can you not be weird though if you're Eddie Murphy?
He's so closed up.
Yeah.
He's very nervous and shy. Yeah. Like, he's weird.
It's definitely not the guy that you saw on stage or in those movies back then.
He turns it on. He really turns it on.
Yeah.
And he's very careful.
Yeah.
In interviews and in person.
You see the difference between him and Seinfeld. Like, Seinfeld is Seinfeld.
Yeah, he doesn't
24/7.
He's gonna.
Whereas like Eddie Murphy really does like think about everything.
He's calculated.
Yeah.
And he's very clean. Just like the way he looks and talks and acts, and his house probably smells like cleaning product. You know what I mean? Or just like very clean.
Yeah. Lots of potpourri everywhere.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Glade plugins.
But when they were, I saw that special, and he's right about some of those jokes on the first 2 stand-ups that he did.
Yeah.
Because they'll hold up.
Yeah.
The jokes that aren't problematic, that are just like a joke that you could tell a kid, anybody. They're so funny.
Watching the ice cream skit, I kind of wanted to show it to my daughter. I was like,
can I show the whole special? But you can show.
Can I show her that clip? Like,
the kids will be cracking up at that.
Dude, I remember when it came out. Like, we would all sit around a tape recorder. Somebody would bring in the tape, and somebody would bring in like a little tape recorder at lunch, and we would all go outside and like we'd find a corner of the playground
Yeah.
where nobody was, and we would just put it on and play it super low and listen to it. My brother and I used to play it in our bedroom super low.
Oh, I
and
thought you
just
meant
sit
a
and-
recorder, like you were gonna record something. You were just playing the tape.
playing the
Okay.
tape, and
Yeah.
just because it was like so like, oh my god, can you believe how much fuck he's saying?
Yeah, because you're laughing. I remember being a kid. You're laughing because he's swearing and saying this crazy wild shit, but you're laughing just as hard as him crying like a baby over
Yeah.
spilled ice cream.
Yeah.
it's his delivery.
Yeah, or his aunt falling down the
Yeah.
stairs forever.
It's fucking hilarious.
It's great.
So, I would love to see a new Eddie Murphy stand-up special.
Totally.
Will he be one of those dudes who like doubles down in all his comedies about how he can't be funny in 2019, or will he just have jokes that are
I
like?
think he'll just have jokes.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the one that'll come out and do all political shit.
He seems to understand like that a lot of this shit is like a good movement.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
he's
you
not
know.
very political.
No, he's not. And I think that, like, I don't know. I don't get the fucking, the sort of like, I can't say what I want to say, because you can say what you
You can
want to
say
say.
whatever you want.
But
That's a myth. There's,
People are going to react to it the way they choose to react to it. So, like, if you want to say that, own it and don't be a fucking pussy about it.
Oh, you can't go to that college.
Yeah.
Go to a different one.
Yeah.
That's Seinfeld's whole thing, and Chris Rock. I hate that shit so much when they're like, yeah, we can't do colleges now. It's like,
So don't do college.
or find out a way to be funnier to those people. Like,
Yeah.
isn't that just a challenge? Like, can't you have to now be funny to these people and these people?
Pretty much. But, like, since when are Chris Rock and Seinfeld doing colleges?
Yeah, but they're the most famous dudes talking about how
Yeah.
they can't anymore.
Yeah.
And that shit. Oh, I fucking hate it so much.
Yeah.
The freedom of speech. I have a weird relationship with freedom of speech though, because like there's people who I don't think should be allowed to speak publicly.
I'm different than you on that. I think that they should be allowed to speak, but I think that any of the reactions that they get are worthy
Yeah.
and warranted. I don't think the government should ever be allowed to shut down
Okay,
anybody's
so,
speech.
so I guess what I'm saying is like going even a little sounding like an even worse person is like I think that there's people who we're at a point where if we care about everyone,
Yeah,
that should be like physically thwarted from speaking, not by the government,
but by people that
but
are.
by the collective conscious of.
Yeah, I agree. I think if if you open up something to a public space,
Yeah.
and you want to say what you want to say, you have to deal with the reactions to what you say.
And but then the role of government becomes to step in and stop people from stopping someone who says black people should die.
Only
Like,
if it's violence. Like saying if somebody says black people should die,
That's violence.
It's abhorrent. I don't think it's violence. I think it's
I get
abhorrent.
into this argument so much with
I think
all my
I think
friends.
that those people are less worthy human beings. But I think once you start advocating that you could be violent towards them, you've opened up a world where if somebody else feels that way about something that we're saying, they could be violent towards us.
Yeah.
So I think, I think anytime that
But what on the other side of that is something that would be said on the other side of that? Like that's where this existential part comes in for me, because I'm like, but what's the other side of that?
I don't think, because I think ultimately it's at the interpretation of the listener, right?
Yeah. So
So-
what could theoretically something that I say and I'm putting myself now at the
Yeah.
center, where it's like, yo, this world is all bullshit and made up. Like you can't do anything without saying no race matters, no gender matters, none of this matters. Like you're a piece of shit if you think any of that matters when it doesn't hurt you.
Well,
Or,
if
like,
you say something like you think that cops are pigs,
you're saying no, yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying.
then the
So-
cops take offense to it and say that that's violence to them,
right, yeah.
they have a right to fight back on that.
But you're saying it needs to be protected,
It needs to be protected. You need to be able to say that. You need to be able to say that
but
without
not by the government.
the government shouldn't be able to shut that down.
Okay. People should, if
People
they want
should,
to,
but they shouldn't be able to be physical.
they shouldn't be able to be
They
physical.
should be able to do it through civil disobedience.
Let's put it on. So you're saying the cops are. You have to go a little further. You have to say like cops should be murdered or something, or like cops
or
should
cop
be
killer, like cop killer. Ice-T's cop killer, perfect example.
Well, or even just someone coming politically saying like, because there's like dudes out there in the government who are like, yeah, Muslim people shouldn't be allowed here. Like they shouldn't be allowed here. Like if I'm going, cops shouldn't be allowed here or whatever. then I should be allowed to be thwarted by the voice of the people and say, you shut up, get off this stage.
I mean, if
blah,
you
blah,
live
blah.
in an area where there's
They
a lot of
shouldn't be allowed
cops,
to get violent towards me,
No.
even if I say violence towards cops is okay.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be allowed to get violence towards me.
but they
If
should be allowed.
do get violent towards me,
Then the state
government
steps
steps in.
Yes. But that's only steps in because it's a crime. It's an assault. Yeah. Whereas, they should be allowed to stand outside your venue, protest it, make it difficult for people to go in. They should be able to expose people that support you.
See, I view when people who have platforms say things that are, whether it's coded or not, the majority of it is coded, but are like, black people don't deserve happiness, or like even their physical bodies. Muslim people don't deserve their physical bodies.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't be safe here. They can go do it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not allowed to be here. I look at that as literal assault. It's not,
Yeah.
but I'm just going to go to my grave looking at it as literal assault, because like as time goes on, a white genocide is not real. A male genocide
No.
is not real. These other things are real. Like, time keeps ticking off. If there were only 100 Muslim people left in the world today,
Yeah.
there'd be 99 2 weeks from now. And the reason there'd be 99 is because of actual people with platforms saying the things that they're saying. Then 2 weeks later, there'd be 98.
See, I
Then
feel
2 weeks later, there'd be 97.
It's more likely that it would be because of government policy, though. That would
that's a
cause
really
that.
good point.
You know, like,
That's why the number
Muslims
keeps
aren't like, I don't know if Muslims are
But
actually
it is,
decreasing.
but we're agreeing, right? So like, it's government policy that's really, that's a really good point. But yeah,
So think about it this way: if the government now was in charge of policing speech, whose speech would they be policing?
I mean, that's the perfect point, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for abolishing government in general.
Yeah,
my
true,
whole
true,
thing,
true.
you know?
We do agree when it gets, yeah. Like, I'm for abolishing at the very least police forces. That's something
yeah.
you can't sell to people, though. There's
No.
There's not even a starting point of that concept for people my parents' age, like
No.
boomers and stuff.
I think
like,
people even our age, I don't think you can necessarily
Very
sell
true,
it to,
very true.
right? Maybe a
100%.
minority of people, but
Very true. Yeah, and like the UBI stuff. Did you watch any of the debates or anything?
I've been avoiding them.
Yeah, I haven't been.
Yeah.
It's really funny, but there's these certain concepts that, we may very well not be having these thoughts without the internet.
Yeah,
because
certainly.
it just wouldn't be enough information for us to have this. Even
Yeah.
though I grew up very liberal or whatever, I don't know how left I'd be without getting all this information and being like, it's that fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what happened, right? My parents' generation, like, they knew shit was fucked up, but they couldn't know how
No,
fucked up.
not at all.
And they could get really easily tricked into being like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Look.
Well, I think it's good that we know how fucked up it is now.
Right.
Like, I think it seems horrifying, and it is, but we fucking know at least.
Yeah.
Like, so now we could address this, and it's going to be, I think, a turbulent, 20 years or so.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing, what our society has become. Like, we're right now fighting the wars at the end of the last century. Like, these culture wars that we're fighting are like the wars to kill the last century.
Yeah.
And move forward. Like, that's where we're at right now.
We're at the end of a century. We need to do a new one. It has to be different.
Yeah, and it got sort of stunted with 9/11, so we were able to put all those arguments on the back burner.
So fucked up.
Welcome to America, America the beautiful, a Christian feudal system, but the myth is much more suitable, the land of the free, home of the brave, built on slave labor, still going on today, only now it's outsourced, out of sight, far from home, overseas, Chinese children building iPhones, making all our sneakers, migrants picking beaches, we're stupid and entitled, the new style of overseers, cool with giving up our freedom, cool with murderous policemen, cool with drone strikes, killing mostly innocents, cool supporting war crimes and feigning our ignorance, we're bringing them freedom, protecting interests, they do beheadings, we bomb weddings and kill infants, damn, it's hard to hide my disgust, we're culpable in silence and in violent bloodlust, the whole world's melting, the water's catching fire, the system is collapsing, it's a dying empire, we signed up for it, we signed up for it, game can't be rigged when we win it forfeited, we signed up for it, we not them, we chose comfort over need, not them, we sold our principles for greed, not them, we signed up for it, we not them, America, America, the land of the free, we gave it all away and blamed them instead of we, the deregulated media is owned by GE, you should euthanize your radio and kill your TV, the dystopian utopia, everyone's an opiate, oprahs and Deepak Chopras, we all look the same, we're Mario and Luigi dog, give it to the Borg, that's a spirit like the Ouija board, it's pure on micro marketing, they're all up in your micros. Maestros are the heartstrings. But that's what happens when you let your things define you. You need to keep consuming to feel human. It's a minefield. There's still a dark part of me that wants to see Trump win and watch it all burn as we bask in this smug grin. So pardon my dark humor. I'm pretty sure you need con to spell consumer.
The only conspiracy theory I'm super into is the moon.
The moon being fake, or
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I can see that being fake because there's like a bunch of stuff where I'm like, that's a stupid theory, and they're like, read it again, and like you watch the wind waving the thing, and they're like,
oh, you're talking about the moon landing.
yeah, sorry, not the moon being. Are there
there's-
people who think the moon
there's
is
a theory
fake?
that the moon is fake. That it's like an aluminum satellite that was put into space.
Okay, so the moon is fake, but what for what purpose? Like, what is
There's
there?
people living on the inside or something.
Oh,
yeah.
it's
It's like a man-made satellite,
Oh,
essentially.
okay, so
yeah.
it's there.
Yeah.
There's something there, but
But it's not an actual
it's not
natural
a star
made-
that,
yeah.
that reflects light
Yeah.
or whatever. No, like I'm not 100% on the moon landing was fake. Like I'm like they would do some shit like
Yeah,
that.
they
And
totally would,
They would
yeah.
never think the internet would come
No.
to get good enough to
Yeah.
expose this shit.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I still think it's actually real,
I think
but
it happened, but I wouldn't have a meltdown.
I love a good conspiracy theory,
Yeah, like,
honestly. I
some
think
of
it's fantastic.
the one that the one that I can't stand. The chemtrails.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, no. I'm like, that's for me. A lot of conspiracy theories break down when it's like 100 people could organize this, 1,000 people
Yeah.
could organize this. You need 1,000,000 people to organize this.
Yeah.
No, 1,000,000 people can't organize a conspiracy and keep it.
Yeah, well,
Under
that's my
wraps.
thing with like people that are like they put detonation blasts inside the Twin Towers.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
need
no.
such a large level of conspiring.
Yeah,
Nah,
no,
people aren't good enough at
It
that.
only takes one person to break that.
Administration breaks down.
Yeah.
You could have 5 people conspire to do something like
Yes,
that. You can't have
exactly.
5,000.
No, exactly.
Someone's going to just
I mean, I think
miss a phone call.
the far more likely 9/11 conspiracy is that it happened and they were like, let's fucking take this and run.
Yeah. Or like, these people did it, but like, let's tell them that these
Yeah.
people did it. And
Yeah, like
it's
we could do everything we've wanted now because this happened.
Shit's crazy. I didn't think we were going to be talking about 9/11.
Yeah,
I
you
love
know,
it though.
we're New Yorkers.
There was some. All right, well, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't prepare for this. Let's switch gears to
Okay.
so we can talk about music.
Yeah,
We've been putting out music. That's been fun.
yeah.
You have other stuff coming out too, with other people or solo
I got an
stuff?
album with Zilla Rocca.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
yeah.
it's pretty much done. I have to re-record 2 songs. I was like trying to write 1 or 2 more songs to like fill it out.
Yeah.
But I'm realizing like it's just adding too much to it. Like it's 2 beats that I love, but they don't actually even fit in the record anyway. So I'm not going to do it, and I just have to re-record vocals on 2 songs. And that's
So
it.
is he not rapping?
No, he's producing
He
the whole
just
thing.
made the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean he does rap on 1 song, but
He
it's
features
it's
on one.
mostly it's me rapping on every song, and then the guests are
awesome.
him and Curly Castro. That's it. So it's like 12 songs.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then I'm working on something with. Are you familiar with like the dudes out of Albany, the Pig Food Records guys,
Well, yeah.
like Dez and Dude
Yeah.
Computer and all those guys? I'm doing
Yeah.
something with Dude Computer.
They go way back. They're
Oh,
like
yeah.
sort of
They used to be, like,
legendary in the
Fingerprint
game, like-
Records or something
I don't
like
know
that.
Fingerprint, but I know Pig Food, and it has been a long time. But a few years ago, there were several, balking, like where I talked with Desmatic a few
Yeah.
times, like back and forth. Nothing ever actually happened. Who
Yeah.
else is in that?
It's Dez. It's
Dude
Dude
Computer.
Computer. His name is Mitch, but he goes by Dude Computer. It is Dez. They make a group together called Giant Gorilla Dog Thing.
I've heard of that.
There's a dude named El Sphinx.
I didn't know he was part of that.
yeah,
I
he's
talk
part
to
of
him on
Pig
Twitter
Food.
sometimes.
Who else is on there? Ben Grimm.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, he's on Pig Food. A dude named Mike Laney, who's like an Albany dude. He's a younger Albany cat. He's pretty dope. I'm trying to think who else is on it. Myself, like I put out stuff with them.
So they're based in Albany. They obviously come to the city a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I go up there more than anything. I don't
Yeah?
see them down here often anymore. But I go way back with them to like,
Well, there's a whole
Scribble
college
Jam in the
scene up
90s.
there.
Yeah, yeah. There's a college scene. They had like a sort of festival up there called Beat Shot, which is just like
Beat Shot?
Beat Shot. It was based on a radio show,
Oh, okay.
and they turned it into like a yearly festival. They just had the last one
Nice.
this like 2 weeks ago, I think,
They
3
just don't
weeks
want
ago.
They're just.
Yeah, I guess it's just they're all moving on and doing
It's
other
hard
stuff.
to sustain stuff like that.
Yeah, but so there's like that scene. I'm doing stuff with them, and then Darko and I are supposed to do something. He gave me a bunch of beats, so I just
Darko's
have
a machine, bro, and he's so young and
crazy.
I just fuck with the way he approaches it all. Like, yeah. I have a lot of friends who it'll take another year for them to be sold on Darko, but I've known them for long enough now that I know for certain that
Yeah.
that you know what I mean? Like, and it's really cool. I like that dude.
Yeah, when we recorded here, it was like what, maybe like 2 months ago, a little further than
It's
that.
gotta be way longer than that.
Really?
It's gotta be like half a year ago.
No,
Maybe
it's definitely not that long.
let's say it was like 3 to 4 months.
Okay,
ago.
whatever
Yeah.
long ago it was, like it was kind of eye opening to me because I realized like how I got stuck in like my own little like silo or bubble of working,
Okay.
and like I had not been in the studio and just like created. in
Like
so
someone
long.
else's space. When
Yeah.
so you're saying you were just recording.
I would
at
just
home or
record at
like-
home, but I would like write everything out like
Yeah.
over like months and years, and then I would go and record it,
Okay.
let it get mixed, re-record it, and there was like, I don't know, we came here and like we just wrote and recorded. The fucking energy was amazing, and it was just so much fun. I was like, wow. So I've been taking that approach since
cool.
then with at least like my writing. Like I just write and record the
you
second
don't
it's
take
done.
it so seriously, or you just refuse to. What are you refusing to do? Like
I'm
you're-
refusing to let the energy get lost.
Okay.
So I'm still taking it as seriously. Like I still do like a lot of editing while I'm writing.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm not afraid to like where in the past I wouldn't like take there's something like I'm like, oh, that's too easy of a transition from this line to the next.
Yeah.
Like I don't turn those away anymore.
Okay.
Like I think it's important like to keep the energy of the writing.
There was a
going.
reason you wrote.
Yeah.
That thing. Why? Yeah. Why take it away?
And if it's that thing that's like there's great, that thing, and then more great, why get rid of that?
Right.
Because you're losing the great.
Yeah.
And same thing with just recording. It's like let's just record it and fucking get it out there.
Well, the recording part is interesting, man, because that's what I do here so much. Like, it's a dangerous game when people come over to demo stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't shut the windows again. Yeah, that was on the last episode. I didn't shut the windows either, and it's actually not so bad. Like
Okay.
I'm able to, and as soon as I said that,
Yeah.
I said, "Oh man, I should have shut the windows," because I did it off the cuff with shirt. Someone parked outside and blasted a Biggie Small song, and it comes on the
Perfect.
podcast.
Nice.
As soon as I said I should have shut the windows, we were like, "Well, clearly I
There you
shouldn't."
go.
have.
Yeah. There's a reason.
But okay, that's awesome. So you also feel like you're just you're recording and releasing music.
I mean, I haven't released anything, but I'm getting more done.
Yeah, homeboy, I hardly break a sweat. It's a gnarly proposition with some interesting effects. And in the interest of respect, some of the names have been changed. I'm on that Fargo shit, that Argo shit, that hard in your veins. It's hard stopping, body rocking, earth shaking, money making. Bitch, I fucked your friend. Like now we proud of foul undertakings. That's an understatement. Homes a rap along the wildflower. Ghost, my favorite rapper. Have him stacked upon an ivory tower. Keenan Ivory weighing shit. I'm slaying all these sacred cows and house slippers. Like I'm Joel Ortiz up in the slaughterhouse. Cool key, offbeat, on beat, on fleet. Another slang the kids will use. It got me lost like Carlton Hughes. The way I lay your verses, they deserve their own after show with Chris Hart. With hosting while we focus on the afterglow. Yo, don't get the yips, man. Like Donnie Chen, a mastermind with rhyming. Then I guess I'm like Kamani then. Is it ironic that I wanna be iconic? Makes me feel the opposite, more like a con artist. But that's ConAgra. A little food for thought, cause being vulnerable alone, homes. Now that don't make you lose it off like Lucas.
For how many years have we thought like, oh, the old ideas are gonna die,
Yeah.
and they never die.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I just think they need to be killed literally, but that's a horrible thing to say, and it doesn't make me feel good.
I mean, that's a form of populism, though. Like, right? That's
well,
like
it's
a
a form
sort of
violence. I'm advocating
Yeah.
for violence at that point.
Yeah.
It's like, it's wild. Big Baby Gandhi came over and did a podcast, not mine, a couple days ago, and he brought these really interesting guests on. This one woman founded this thing called Burnlennials.
Okay.
And they're like, I meet these men and women who are active. They get up, leave their house, and go to something that's actually a political thing. I don't
Yeah.
do that. I go do other things.
Yeah.
I talk a lot about politics, and
Yeah.
I've like done some property damage and went to protests or whatever. But like, I don't go to these things. I don't put my name on the papers and stuff like that. And I think that that's really great that they're doing that. And then they come in here, and here I am being like, yeah, but you guys aren't like throwing bricks through the windows of these people who write the laws, so I don't know that you're helping. And then I feel like an asshole. But part of me still thinks I'm right. Like, I don't think that you're going to change a lawmaker's mind until they physically fear their lives.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an element of that, right? Because you see after riots, that's when things change.
Yeah, there's a certain percentage, if you can get a certain percentage of the entire population to go outside at the same time, the same day.
Yeah.
History shows the government switches overnight.
Yeah.
But it's like, and it's a low number. It's like 7%. Have you read about this or heard about
this? I haven't heard about it, but it makes sense.
It's like 7%.
Yeah.
All throughout history, if like 7 or more % of the entire country goes outside, the government's like, they're all.
I mean, God, how many people? Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, okay, well, otherwise they got to turn the guns and start mowing people down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. That's a general strike. The women's march, I guess, was like 4%, which is huge.
That was huge.
But it needs to like double that.
It needs to double that, and it needs to be like a sustained strike, I think. Like, it can't be like an afternoon.
Yeah, I think that when the number gets that large, it inherently becomes sustained. Because it's like it takes a whole day for that many people to go out. And like, it has to be a sustained strike.
I mean, look at like Hong Kong.
Which one?
Like what's going on in Hong Kong right now.
Videos of so do you know what's going? I don't know what's going on.
It's something to do with a law that the Hong Kong government is trying to pass to extradite people from Hong Kong to mainland China for any criminal. For basically anything that China says is a criminal activity.
So there's a city of Hong Kong. And they want a new law that says if you graffiti, you get fucking kicked out.
Well, so what happened is Hong Kong was its own entity for a long time.
Okay.
I mean, it was under like British colonization, but it was never part of China. The UK handed it over back to China like 20 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
And since then, I mean, you know, with the understanding that it was still going to be its own like sovereign place with its own ideas, its own laws, but slowly over time, mainland China and the Chinese government have been putting the squeeze on them, putting in, you know, backing political parties that will sort of be favorable towards the Chinese government.
Right.
And I guess the breaking point was extradition laws. Yeah. So, you know, anybody for any reason, if you break a law, China can take you to China.
In Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong, or I think it's in Hong Kong.
Okay.
But it's
all right. So the point is there's a law that the government is trying to pass. People are like, you better not pass.
Yeah, they're like, no, you can't fucking pass this law.
How are they that much better at protesting than we are? And how are we not learning? The videos are there.
It's a smaller place. So it'd be like if, say, the government was like, you know, New York City, anybody that's in New York City that doesn't take the subway, this is like a fucking bad example, but it's like Hong Kong is like the size of New York City. It's like, it's literally a city.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I mean, we're sort of blocked by land. Like, we're a giant space that, you know, if something happens in Idaho, you and I are not necessarily going to know about it or care about it. And same thing, vice versa. If something happens in Queens, somebody in Idaho is not going to give a shit.
But wait, no, I'm saying, how are they so much better at the protesting? Have you seen these videos of them putting out the gas bombs and all these things?
Yeah.
They're so much better.
Yeah, I don't know.
They do all this stuff, but you see they leaving the money around. And,
oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Dude, so
I thought you meant like getting mass protests
I'm
out.
talking about the actual tactics.
Oh, no, okay, no, I haven't.
You saw the gas bombs one where they know how to, there's videos when the cops will throw a smoke bomb.
Okay.
You just run up to it and dump a bunch of water on it. It takes 5 seconds. You just dump a bunch of water on the gas bomb,
and it's
out. It goes out, and then you can pick it up and throw it back or whatever. But it's on its way out. But it has to be concentrated and like a gallon or something.
Yeah.
So they throw these things, and a bunch of Chinese Hong Kong protesters will just run up, put that shit out.
Amazing.
Why don't we do stuff like that? They at the buses and the subways and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They literally buy a bunch of cards, like swipe cards, so people don't have to jump, and fucking tape them there. And leave them there so any protester can just come up, pick up a card, swipe themselves in, and go. It's
wow,
like,
that's amazing.
There's people that like they don't.
They just shut down the subway system
in Hong Kong.
Yeah, the protesters. They basically like rush hour. They shut it down.
You did that shit here.
I know.
If you could shut down the subway, well,
you have to shut down DC.
I don't know if you could shut down the subway system because the subway system is shit because the people who run the city don't use it.
Yeah. No, I know. I think. I mean. Yeah, you would have to. get, I think, a centralized
Certain
protest to
population of
DC.
it, yeah.
And
General strike would I would love to see it.
I would love to see it too.
I would love to see it, even if I just wanted. It would just be so fun.
Yeah.
I don't even have a job.
no, I think it would be fantastic. I mean, New Orleans will shut down for fucking Mardi Gras. Like, they shut the city down for fucking Mardi Gras.
That's for a party. That's not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but it's like, like, I don't know. I was talking with my wife about it, like, she was like, why can't we do this with the border?
Just have a general strike.
Yeah, but I was like, but you got to get everybody down to the border. Like, that shit's isolated. Like, Hong Kong is like, if you just shut down Manhattan, it's a lot easier.
But you could theoretically shut down the border shit if New York and LA were just like, we're not going to work tomorrow. Any of us.
I think that
And they'd
protest.
be like, what? Why? And they'd be like, because you're spending money on the wall. Like, but like that, if you could get a general strike to happen, they'd be like, haha, okay. And then like no one went to work. It actually worked, and no one went to work. They'd be like, Jesus Christ, that was fucked up. And they're like, we're not going tomorrow either. He'd be like, no, you're definitely going tomorrow.
Yeah,
like,
you could probably
obviously,
get
you can't go 2 days and you actually don't show up. And the second they'd be like, fucking, okay, fine. Like, I think it would just, but the organization of that.
The organization of that, and I think you'd have to hope that like the companies that are feeling the pain would be the ones that sort of are able to push the buttons.
If you're using the word general strike, correct, it's every company.
It is every company.
So it's. I think it forces. I think that's what would work.
Yeah.
Wow, we veered right back into politics, even though we were talking about music.
I mean, we live in Brooklyn. We kind of have to, right?
You brought up Cryptic One.
Yeah. We brought up music.
We met just on the internet. I guess the first time we met in person was the Darko thing.
Yeah, that
But
is the first time, right?
Like even more a little bit before that.
Yeah.
But I've known your music for years. I saw you live in the late 2000s. No.
Probably. I mean,
early 2000s.
Mid to early. Like I think
BB King's.
BB King's,
opening for Doom.
Yeah.
And Most Def was there.
That was like 2004.
We got a table, bottle service.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys were awesome. You threw the apple.
Yeah,
you caught the apple?
Wind.
He caught the apple.
Yeah, because he had giant chompers.
Yeah, people don't know about it. Yeah, I unfortunately meet a lot of people that don't know about Hangar 18.
I mean, that makes sense. There's,
it makes sense.
We only sold. I mean, I thought it was a lot.
Well, I don't care about sales, but I'm talking about the pathway that you paved, like because there was two different. You were part of Def Jux that paved this. That at the same time paved the pathway, and there was guys out here doing it as well. Were you guys centralized in Manhattan? Would you say?
I was in Brooklyn.
You were in Brooklyn.
I was
Def Jux.
Def Jux, more Brooklyn.
Yeah.
The office started in. The office was in Manhattan, but everybody. It started at L's studio, which was over in Staten.
Fat Beats was in Manhattan.
Fat Beats was in Manhattan too.
There was a lot.
And like sort of like all the venues at that time were in Manhattan.
You're right. Def Jux represents Howell's.
Yeah. So it all started out of his apartment.
I can't take no losses, no stalemates or forfeit. I made a choice to raise my voice to all the hate that haunts us. Like poltergeist, I hold the mic, no need for praise or worship. I only phrase my thoughts in ways that ought to paint a portrait. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not, but I can't fake or force it. Sometimes my soul is freezing cold, this world can make it frostbit. They won't defrost and it won't thaw because they feed me torture. My greedy boss, the need for sauce, man, I can't bear these crosses. Sometimes I think I'm gonna snap because I'm trapped by forces that wanna rip me piece by piece like horses drawn and quartered. This fucking courtship has me cautious cause I'm feeling cornered. I got these bills, I got this debt, I'm like 2 steps from pauper. It makes me nauseous thinking thoughts like this, I can't ignore them. I gotta fight and scrape and might escape a fate of boredom. That's why my eyes on the horizon trying to
Nuclear Family.
Oh yeah.
So Def Jux was obviously more popular.
Yeah.
And paved this certain path. But over here, around this area, those dudes paved a path as well. Nothing happened for a while. Def Jux took off.
Yeah.
Then declined. Then there was a blank period. And then Das Racist came back around.
Yeah.
And kind of
Pick things up a little bit.
Pick the weirdo rat.
Das Racist part of Nuclear Fam?
No.
Okay.
But they absolutely would not have had some of the opportunities that they had without Nuclear Family and Def Jux. Do you remember Southpaw?
Oh yeah, I played Southpaw many times.
Yeah. That's who kind of ran Southpaw, was Nuclear Family.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember whenever I'd go there, I would talk with those dudes. It was like I can't remember anybody's names now, but it was like
Beige One.
Beige One,
Mike
yeah.
Winslow, Beige One, Tone Tang.
Was Tone down there? Did he run that?
He would work there.
Okay.
He was part of that family, but he didn't
Yeah.
work there. The Tone Tank was in a rap group with a guy named Cray,
Yeah.
who was the bartender
Yeah.
down there. Cavalier, who's
Okay.
still active and awesome.
Tone lives in my
Snafu was the
neighborhood.
producer. Yo, Tone is the man.
Tone is
bro.
the man, yeah.
Yeah, that dude is so
Tone,
funny,
his
man.
fucking, he's such a dope rapper.
He's such a
He's
dope-
so dope. That one-offs and one-upmanship.
Yeah, we did
mixtape,
that here.
dude.
It's
fucking
so good.
So good.
He had just like there's like a lot of songs on that album.
Yeah.
But there was like 50
Yeah.
to cut it down from. There was an entire album recorded in one week, like weekend. Him and Serengeti watched
Wow.
these two movies and then wrote like 10 rap songs based on
Amazing.
nothing other than these two movies called like Cop and Boost.
Yeah, because that song's on the record.
Yeah. There's an entire album of that. They're like, Jesus Christ, cut 8 of these and
Amazing.
put two of them
Amazing.
on this thing, and then all those one-offs and I mean, he's got a song produced by like Portishead dude on there. Tone. Shout out to Tone Tank.
Yeah,
We're
Scott
trying-
Thorough too.
Scott Thorough.
Yeah.
That whole scene, and then that happened. It was less popular, but happening at the same time that I was in Def Jux.
Well, it was funny because we would tour and like we would just show up at certain venues and it was like sometimes Tone and I'm sorry,
opening
what-
up or
Yeah, like they'd be on the bill and be like, "Oh, what's up, dudes?"
Yeah.
And it was like,
fucking
I
awesome.
think like in Eugene, Oregon, we'd show up and then those
be
dudes
there.
are there. It's like, oh, dope.
That's
And
funny
same thing
how
used
that
to
works.
happen with I don't know if you remember Icon the Mic King.
that does sound super
He
familiar.
was just like
actually.
a scene dude. He was like around, but he was like, we tour and like he's in Iowa City and he's on our bill. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And
So it was before the internet, so you didn't know he was going to be there
Yeah.
until you got there.
yeah, and it was like, but the best thing about him was, and I found this out like just talking with him, that he knew how to forge Greyhound bus tickets, and he would just use that to tour. So he would forge tickets and tour.
How? Like he'd have to be at a printer.
I guess so. He's
Yeah.
like he's fucking like a genius. He has like his own like marketing agency now that he runs.
okay.
Like it's him and
Icon
like
the Mic
Lewis
King.
Logic.
And he is real estate.
Lewis Logic?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was working for Mike for a while,
wait,
or
hold
with
on.
Mike.
There's a rapper who's in real estate. Anyway.
It's a good gig if you're a rapper, I think, because like you could kind of make your own hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? But that whole scene, man, Def Jux, yeah.
It was a fun scene while it lasted, until it wasn't. Like that's sort of the thing I keep telling people. Like it was fun for a long time, and then one day it just wasn't fun anymore.
Sure. Yeah. But even just looking at it as a I guess what else was going on at the Anticon? Where
Anticon was happening. Well, Rhymesayers, I think, was the biggest competitors, really.
Rhymesayers is the only
Yeah.
one that. No, that's not true. Anticon is still pretty active, and I think
Yeah.
they're sustainable.
Yeah.
Rhymesayers, I think, is successful. Anticon is sustainable,
I mean, Rhymesayers is pretty sustainable too.
but I think they're
More successful.
more successful.
Oh yeah,
is what
yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah,
Anticon is a little more sustainable.
yeah,
But Rhymesayers, I think, has some success. Like
yeah.
some bigger
Well,
success.
Rhymesayers has a great. I mean, I had
own a region.
I had a lot of beef with Anticon, so
Oh really? Yeah. Yeah.
so I didn't really like. I mean, mostly it was stupid. Like it was just like fucking dumb indie rapper beef.
Yeah.
more
Was
than
any of
anything.
it real life?
I don't. I mean, it was all sort of like just based off of a
If
stupid
none of those dudes
misunderstanding.
were making music, was there any?
Well,
there was
I mean,
no
honestly, I
music
didn't
being
meet the
made.
majority of them.
But I'm talking about the beef that happened.
That
If
was, like,
none
more-
of those people were musicians. Had they already met? Were they? Was it real life interactions that led to beef?
No,
No,
it was
music.
Soul thinking that LP was dissing him for some reason.
Yeah, so it was all made up out of music. It
Yeah.
was all. It was never.
Yeah, and
it
then
was never
I
bumped
mean,
into somebody.
our
and
beef with
started
him
a
was
fight.
sort of a little real though, because when they were doing like the diss records.
But that's what I'm saying. But it was his born out of.
No, I'm talking about my specific beef and like Adam's family beef with Soul.
What was that born out of?
It was born out of he wrote this diss track to L.
Yeah.
And he put in a line about Vortal.
Ah.
And Vortal was Adam's family. Like this was before Vortal even started working with LP or even knew LP.
Woods goes way back with Vortal.
What's that?
Woods goes. way
Yeah,
back
yeah,
with
they go
Vortal.
way back.
All right, but I didn't mean to
So-
derail that. Yeah.
So he put a line about LP biting Vortal. Like it sounds like your whole style is like you
Okay.
bit this rapper named Vortal, and he was at
He
Cryptic's
biting
house,
Vortal. Okay.
and he told us that. And we're like, don't put that in.
Oh,
Like it's not
shit.
true. And Vortal didn't want to put it in, and we were like, don't put it in. And he's like,
So
okay.
even Vortal was like, nah,
Yeah.
don't put it in.
And he put it in. So we were just like, fuck you. Like you brought us into your beef. And
That's funny. I didn't know that.
yeah, like I want. I mean, you know, it's still all stupid. It's like such
That's
idiotic, dumb shit.
Yeah. It was
But-
never. All I was saying was like it never. You know, because people can become, you know, get into fights or be out of something happening in a bar or with a girlfriend or something like that. But this was all based
All
off
music related.
writing,
Yeah.
which is funny because I think that everyone being an adult now is just like.
It's so stupid.
Path of least resistance, eat your green leaves, eat your spinach, keep your colon clean, take the 6 to Bowling Green for business. Bump some Soldier Slim, run from cops, avoid the holding pen. Every day I'm older with gray stubble and double chins. Al's a little dally to rap, Alistair Crowley, darling of the critics, plus prolific Noah Hawley. You could take the over-under, old school game like Rolling Thunder. I son these rappers acting bad like they're on Small Wonder. I own an X3, I own 2 cribs. You out here leasing, so you see I don't give 2 shits. It might read as aloofness when you sponging off like loofahs or crabs in a barrel trying to wrestle down like luchadors. Death of a salesman, a maelstrom of nonsense. Tall like Karl Malone, mailman frame on Larry Johnson's. You could rap about the things you need and that's nothing new. Or you could play the victim and that's why nobody fucks with you. Path of least resistance, eat your green leaves, eat your spinach, keep your colon clean, take the 6 to Bowling Green for business. Set adrift on memories of you spent playing centipede, adulthood cooking feast while the wizards.
Wow, we've had such similar paths.
Yeah, it's
I went to
funny.
New Paltz and I went to school to be a teacher.
So, but not just you and I meet a lot of people that do indie weird rap.
Yeah.
That we're going to be teachers or were teachers or.
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah. It makes
Well,
sense.
so you ended up going to New Paltz. So you finished.
Yeah,
You
I finished,
you were
yeah,
in
yeah.
New Paltz. I spent so much time in New Paltz skateboarding when I was a little kid.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I used to like. I ended up getting a degree in Black Studies.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Interesting.
because it was like I was doing education
In New Paltz?
In New Paltz,
They
yeah,
had
they had
Black
they had a
Studies?
really good Black Studies department in New Paltz.
Shout out New Paltz.
That was like my minor while I was doing an education study, and I realized I don't want to fucking teach. Like these people are turning me off to teaching altogether.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna finish up this Black History major and
That's fucking
get
dope.
out. Yeah.
Were you there? There was a heroin epidemic in New Paltz.
I wasn't there for that. I was gone by
must've been
then.
after,
Yeah, I
right?
graduated in '96.
And like, there's a heroin epidemic after, but it was like significant in New Paltz.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
why
that
I
whole
mean,
area, like the Hudson Valley, got hit hard.
Yeah, the Hudson Valley got hit crazy hard, but there would be times I would go to New Paltz and see like 20 as opposed to like 4 people
Really?
sitting on the street
Wow.
in a camp where you would expect to see in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like, and that's such a small concentrated place. When you see that, it's really
That's fucking
shocking.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like large groups where
Yeah.
you're just like, what the fuck is going on in this little town?
That's crazy.
It was crazy.
I
I,
must
don't
have
think it's
just
like that
completely
anymore.
missed that, yeah.
yeah. Because you would know exactly what I was talking about. Because there was huge camps in
Yeah.
New Paltz.
That's crazy. I mean, there was kids like where I grew up overdosing on heroin.
Yeah,
Like
kids in rooms. Or
yeah,
like
yeah. There
outside.
wasn't like fucking
camp.
camp. Yeah. But to me, that was like it was like maybe like 5 years after I graduated high school,
Which yeah,
and
wow.
it completely bugged me out because when I was in high school, we couldn't even get pot.
really
Yeah, it was like impossible to get pot.
in Peekskill, New York, in the 90s.
Yeah.
it was
Well, I
impossible to
graduated. I graduated high school in 1990.
It was impossible to get weed.
Yeah, it was rough to come up on.
Huh.
Yeah,
I guess
and it was
so.
like also like we all
What did
still
you
were
do
like.
if you like you would you have to go to New York? Did you have
I
to go
didn't
to
smoke
city?
weed until I went to college.
Kids that were yeah.
I mean, kids that did, but we were all sort of like, because we were all like athletes too.
Where
so
would
we
they
were
have to
like,
go to get it.
they would get it, I guess, from their older siblings.
Oh, interesting.
But we were also kind of like, oh my God, he's smoking pot. Meanwhile, we're drinking like fucking a 12 pack every
Yeah.
fucking Friday and Saturday night.
hard to find.
Yeah. But it was just like, to me, that was just shocking. Like there was a culture shift where it went from like hard to get pot to kids overdosing on heroin.
Yeah. I imagine that must have been because of where you were. I don't think in the early 90s it was hard to get weed in New York City.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it was like, it was a shitty town, man. Like,
Peekskill.
yeah, like I said, it was right outside of Peekskill.
Yeah.
So it was like this sort of like blue collar suburb where like people didn't like go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you
well,
know,
there's not a lot of places to go up there.
no, I mean, our weekends were like, well, let's go to Topher's house.
Yeah.
Had a friend named Topher. Like, 'cause, you know,
That says a lot.
yeah, because his parents were like old Irish people, so they had like 9 kids, and he was the youngest. The oldest one was like graduated college when he was born, so like
Yeah.
they would be gone for half the year in Florida, and we'd just go to his house.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you were in Peekskill, you moved to the city, and how did you meet these musical dudes.
I met them all in New Paltz, actually. It started in New Paltz.
Yak Balls.
Yeah, he was there after me.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's a little younger.
He's
Yak
younger than
Balls
me,
and
yeah.
Cage and them.
Yeah, Cage is like my age, I think. Cage is older.
But he worked with Yak.
He did work with Yak. So I went to New Paltz and like started seriously rhyming up there in like 94.
I was skateboarding around while you guys were in
Yeah.
those rooms working on those songs and shit, and I didn't discover it till I went to college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
like I met this dude named Billy G, who was like a Queens rapper.
Okay.
And he was like
Up in New Paltz.
up in New Paltz. Like he was like the epitome Queens rapper guy. Like
Never heard.
basically like sounded like Mike Geronimo. He was a white dude. He was on Bobito, so he was like, oh shit, he's like been on Stretch and Bob.
Yeah, he's got it.
And we were the two rappers on campus. And like he was coming to battle me. I was holding an open mic.
Yeah.
And we ended up like actually hitting it off.
Yeah.
So we started like writing together, and he brought me down here to do shows.
Okay.
And it was like me, him, and this dude named he had the best real name.
But
his
this-
real name was Angel Falcone,
Dude, that's awesome.
but he changed his name to fucking Analytic. I was like, dude, you have the best name already.
Falcone. Or just
Yeah.
Falcone.
Well, yeah. And so he's like,
So this was before studio recording. You
this
were
was
doing
before
stuff
studio.
up in
Yeah,
New-
we were just like ciphering in the hallways and smoking weed and eating acid.
Yeah.
And through him, Angel and Wind and Breeze were best friends growing up. And Wind used to come up all the time, and he started rapping with us. And
Wind and Breeze would come up to New Paltz.
come up to New Paltz. Like they grew up in Co-op City.
Yeah.
He would come up to New Paltz every weekend, and me, Wind, and Angel became Hangar 18. Angel got his girlfriend pregnant,
Yeah, I
stopped
don't remember.
rapping.
Okay.
Like he stopped rapping before anything was ever made.
Oh, okay.
And then, Wind and I kept going, and we met, like, we go to New Eurekan all the time, and that's, like, where we met all those dudes and Adam's family.
That where you
and
met Paul?
I met Paul years after. So I started, I was doing shows by that time. I was promoting shows.
Okay.
And Paul gave me a beat tape, and, 2 months later, I listened to it. It was like a literal cassette.
Yeah.
2 months later, I listened to it, and I was like, oh, this is dope. And him and I started working because Wind was away at college.
Yeah.
And we did, like, I had like 3 or 4 solo songs with him. Wind came home, and we just
Jumped
started
on 'em.
recording, and
Yeah.
immediately it hit and became Hangar 18.
That's crazy. So it all kind of happened in New Paltz.
Yeah.
And shit, and like, that's crazy.
Yeah. But
was
it-
Wind and Breeze where he was still living down here? He eventually became a teacher, or professor, or
he
something,
did.
right?
He became he was like a 3rd grade teacher.
Cool.
So yeah, he went up to New Paltz after I left. So he was like going to BMCC down here. I graduated. He started the next year.
Okay.
So like there was like 2 years where we weren't really doing anything because he was at college.
So he was there during the era. Then that Yak was there probably.
Yeah, I think so. Like I used to go up there. We used to play a lot of shows up there because he like became friends with this band.
Okay.
And they used to like just play like break beats.
Yeah.
So we used to do shows, and it would
There's
be
a
like,
scene up there.
yeah, we would all like freestyle. Like I think we started that scene
Yeah.
because it was like we would play this place called Snugs Harbor like every other Saturday.
Snugs might
I think it is still there.
still be there.
Yeah.
Joe's
Joe's
East West.
Josie's West. Yeah, that was there. That was like the real Guido joint when we were
Yeah.
there. I know Guido's probably not an appropriate term to use.
No, it's
now,
never.
but-
It's never racist to be racist towards an Italian.
Okay, yeah. So
You don't know that rule? You can always
Okay,
do an
so
Italian
cool.
accent.
Guidos.
You can
Yeah.
always do it.
So yeah, so it was like a Guido spot.
It's
Except,
so-
but every Thursday night they had Caribbean night. So
oh,
we
yeah.
would go up there and it was
Yeah.
like people like just
Josie's
fucking
West, yeah.
grinding on.
It's a club now. It's
yeah,
like
it was then too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but it was like people they'd have like DJs playing
Liquid
Buju
Skate Shop.
Bonton.
Do you remember that?
That wasn't there when I was there. That came later. I do remember it, but it wasn't there when I was there.
Because they were a proponent of hip hop. I learned about a lot of underground rap and hip hop through.
And then there
skateboard
was
tapes
the
and stuff.
record shop down there too.
Yes.
I forgot what it was called,
But it was great.
Yeah, it
it's
was
right
dope.
on the main strip.
Yeah, right on the main
it's
strip.
on the left hand side.
It was almost like right across the street from where the
I-
skate shop was, right?
Yeah, like a little
Yeah.
bit further down. When I first started making beats, I started making beats
Nice.
where I would actually, I had an MPC 1000, I would buy vinyl records to actually
Nice.
sample and stuff like that, and that's where I would go to get. There's another one around the corner too. Yeah, New Pulse is dope.
Yeah, I like New Paltz.
Oh man, so Def Jux happened. We eventually met. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't prepare. When I first started recording I had people that I was gonna have on. I had certain questions or whatever. and I
Yeah.
was like,
It's more
I
fun to
just
go
come in
free with
totally
it.
Unprepared.
Yeah.
So you guys got into the podcast thing. Were you
Yeah.
listening to a lot of podcasts?
I mean, I've been
you-
listening to a lot of podcasts for a while.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with podcasts. It's a little ridiculous.
I mean, I haven't been listening as much lately.
Okay.
It's because like I focus on like 2 or 3 that I listen to all the time, and I just have like this backlog
Yeah,
of shit.
yeah.
But Yeah.
Hardcore History being one.
I'd stop listening to that. Like I go through periods where I'll listen to something for like 2 years and then I just stop listening
You
to
gotta
it.
listen to the Dollop, man.
I know that's one that you guys have told me about that one. I need to get onto it. I just got into this one called The Pessimist Archive, which is dope because it's basically about shit like Walkmen.
Okay.
Like how like there's always like people that are like this is going to be the end of our civilization as we know it.
Wait, the walk.
Yeah, like a Walkman. Like a Walkman is going to
player?
destroy civilization.
Okay.
Yeah, but like shit like that. Elevators are going to destroy civilization, and it's like basically like taking those people's arguments and not to like make fun of them because there were people of their time that were like,
They have
this thing is scary to me.
points. Yeah. Wait, I'll actually listen to that because that's hilarious.
It's kind of like the thing I like about it now is like we live in
Are
a time.
all of them innocuous like that?
Yeah, the majority of them are like cars. Like even the reason like why cars are called have horsepower was to ease people into the idea of cars.
Yeah.
Because it was like they're like
Well, cars shouldn't work.
They shouldn't.
I can't believe that there's not a car accident every 10 seconds on every
know.
block in every city.
I know.
When I drive around, I'm like, how is this working? Like, everyone should just be hitting everyone. Everyone's insane.
Yeah.
Myself included. I don't know how this is working, and I think it's just this completely subconscious fear of death where we're like, this is unreasonable to drive this much weight and sharp this fast. So we all know we're going to die if we hit each other. So it's
so
just
we
like
just
this
have to, like,
collective
really be on
human
it.
unconsciousness. That,
well, that's I think why we also get all so pissed off when somebody's driving like a maniac.
It's like, you fucking asshole, you'll kill someone.
Kill us all.
So being afraid of cars, I get. Walkman?
Yeah, because it was the idea of like, music was this communal experience.
Okay.
So it was not necessarily going to destroy society, but it's going to destroy music. It's going to destroy, it's going to destroy a way of life.
Yeah.
And it's like this sort of fear and
this guy or whoever these people were who were like, Walkman is going to do.
Yeah, but I mean, you see.
I want to listen to this.
Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting, and I the thing I like about it now is like everything. We live in a culture where everything is the end of the world.
Yeah.
Immediately, like I mean, how many, especially since Trump became president, like there are things that we focus on that are kind of trivial.
Yeah.
And I understand it because there's so much shit that's not trivial.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like easier to focus on these things.
Too much stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's sort of like also a testament to the idea of like not placing too much into your fears about advancement and moving forward.
Because this guy's giving these stories about how, like, look at this guy was there. Yeah.
And then also how other things are spawned because of the things that we fear.
Yeah, of course.
Like, so it's like, the thing that we fear initially is just the starting point. There's going to be industries, there's going to be regulations, there's going to be rules that are going to make these things actually benefit mankind.
Useful.
Yeah.
I wonder. Yeah, I don't see anything coming as impactful as the internet.
No.
Again. Well,
No.
maybe some automation type shit that we don't know about yet. Like this one automation thing will be like, oh, we automated that. That's bigger than the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of AI stuff is going to be interesting to see what happens
That's why
with that.
this dude Yang, I'm
Andrew
Yang
Yang?
gang, man.
Your Team Yang?
Yeah. He would be number 3 on my ranked choice voting.
What's your rank choice right now?
Do you know ranked choice?
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
A lot of people don't, and it's
No, I do.
frustrating.
I think we need to do it.
It
makes the most sense.
It's not even up for debate. We have to.
No.
It would go, Sanders, Warren, Yang.
Okay.
Nobody else. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like this woman, Marianne Williamson, is hilarious.
I haven't watched it, but I kind of want to watch it for her.
Yeah, just
but
watch her
there's
clips.
so many people
She
on
can never
that-
be president. Get the fuck out of here. She's a neoliberal, but she's got a lot of really perfectly fine and good things to say out loud that people should hear.
I mean, I don't know. I put this on Twitter the other day, and I think people thought it was a joke, but I think we should abolish the presidency altogether.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't actually. 10 years ago, I don't vote, or maybe 15. I was like, I don't vote. I'm not a voter. I don't buy it. Got a little more active around Obama, started voting or whatever. After that, I realized local elections are real and they matter and could change the world. Local elections. I don't actually believe the national election is a tangible thing. I don't.
No.
I've seen small companies do administration. You can't convince me that millions and millions of things are tallied in 1 to 2 nights and presented accurately. That's not a real thing.
No, I don't think so either.
It's a tough thing to say.
It is,
A lot of
but
people don't
I
wanna hear
mean,
that.
we especially as
I
we
vote, I participate just so I can have these conversations.
Yeah,
with my
but I think we've like gone into like this cult of the presidency over the last. I mean,
Bit of
for me,
cognitive
it's
dissonance.
since Reagan.
Yeah.
but I'm sure it's probably been going on before then. Like Kennedy, FDR, like they're all like these cults of the presidency that.
We believe in this symbol that's
Yeah.
utterly useless.
Yeah. And we see a lot of like the powers that Congress and states are supposed to have like filtering upwards, which actually scares me.
I don't think that those bodies of people are powerful beyond whoever they work for, which is like a smaller group of bankers.
Congress, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that I don't have the information, but I'm sure the information is very quickly and easily publicly available. Like whoever multi-billionaires are, who run banks and stuff.
Yeah.
Those who are making our laws.
Well, I think it's like sort of just parties in general. Like parties, they're not actually dedicated to the people.
Yeah,
they're corporate entities themselves.
There's no difference. Saying a Democrat is different than a Republican is
And
a bit
I
silly.
think you even see it with like a lot of unions right now.
Yeah.
Like unions are in the
corporate.
it's their
pockets.
corporate bodies. And I think we'd be more effective if we started new unions.
Yeah.
That actually represented the people versus like the Teamsters.
My dad was the president of a union for years, and unions were the perfect idea, and then they got corrupted as well. Like it's crazy.
So, politics again.
Yeah, how did that one come up?
I don't even remember.
Wait, I want to figure out how that one came up.
So we started talking about elections. Yang.
I brought up Yang.
Yeah, but what were we talking about
Why did I
before
bring up
Yang?
You must have been part of a UBI. That's the
But
only
you
time
said
I ever-
UBI and then you said Yang, but something led to UBI.
I used to be shy like you.
We were talking about
I
New
used to
Paltz.
be shy
We were
like
talking
you.
about.
I used to be shy like you. I used to be shy like you. Used to play at the B-sides, hanging at the seaside. Summer '86, Lisa and Colt Jam. Backyard pizza and a sixer of cold hands. Bloody knuckle throw hands, late night Conan. Copenhagen dip and I spit it in a Coke can. Ain't no joke, lock him in the Nova. Scribble jam it, I drink with Dose One. We gotta get over our bullshit. Used to go to the corner store to boost shit. Wasted youth in a t-shirt, bathing suit, bitch tits, stomach from munching on some baby rules. Junior fly high, gold chain, baby tooth, parachute pants at the dance with my baby boo. Posted up, chaperones like yo, it's close enough. You ain't gotta go home, but you can't stay with close
Yeah, big Yang gang.
Yeah.
It's inevitable, and it's the only thing that'll really. It's the only thing that'll. You ever heard of the Rat City experiment?
No, what's that?
Took 2 cages, put a bunch of rats in them.
Okay.
In the one cage, there was 2 water bottles. One water bottle had water. The other water bottle had water and cocaine.
Okay.
And in that cage, there was nothing.
Okay.
So just the water bottles and the cage.
Yeah.
Then there was another cage with water and cocaine water, and then a bunch of things to do.
Yeah.
Obstacles, food, other rats.
Yeah.
In the water, in the cage with nothing to do. Almost every rat drank the cocaine water until they died.
Okay.
In the cage with the obstacles and the things that they could do, eat,
Yeah.
run around, do things, they never did.
They never.
They always just drank the regular water.
Okay.
'Cause they had stuff
They
to
had
do.
stuff to do,
They were
yeah.
stimulated. They had things to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fucked up way to look at to relate this to that.
Yeah.
But it's such bullshit to just consciously decide like, well, certain people just shouldn't have money.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. We're
Yeah,
just
totally.
like, well, certain people shouldn't have money. It's like, no, you have to earn money. Money is worth nothing if we
Yeah.
just make it up. It's like you're either you genuinely don't understand that it's made up, or you refuse to. You're practicing cognitive dissonance because money
Yeah.
is made up. Like labor
Totally.
is real, products are real, but surplus is made up.
Yeah.
The surplus, like the made up part of the money, and that's why people are just overdosing, killing. Like,
Yeah.
like you need to just start giving people money.
Yeah.
They will do. Yes, like a bunch of people will also just spend it on drugs and die.
Yeah.
But that's not for every person that does that. There's going to be one that does something.
Yeah.
That will eventually lead to help.
Yeah. Well, one of the interesting things I saw touring,
UBI.
traveling everywhere, you see these areas where, and it goes back to what you're saying about there not being anything. There's no, like, even the idea of an opportunity, like pick yourself up by your bootstraps, is bullshit because the only things there are
have
fucking
any bootstraps.
Walmart and Chili's and McDonald's.
Yeah.
So any money that's in that community is being taken out of that community.
Yes.
So there's, you couldn't start an electronic shop because Walmart's there. You can't start a small grocery because Walmart's there. You can't start a restaurant because Chili's is there. And it's just like the idea that these people are going to pick themselves up by their bootstraps and fix themselves is fucking ridiculous.
They don't have any bootstraps.
No. Yeah. But
There's no
it's insane. Yeah.
yeah, when you talk about real poverty, it's faux scarcity.
Yeah.
Sold to people who have a little bit of comfort,
Yeah.
and they're just like, well, mine will go away.
Yeah.
If that person gets any
No.
comfort, it's like it won't.
Yeah.
That's a lie that's been sold to you. Your
Yeah.
comfort will not go away.
100%.
Your your comfort will stay the same.
No, I actually think that's a real interesting idea, the universal basic income.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Yeah. I think it's
Every question he was asked, you can relate. Even the climate change shit. He's like, there'll be kids who have no money, who just get all this money, who spend it on because they've been so sparked by climate change. Like,
Yeah.
you have a kid. Like, does your kid think about climate change, or is it?
I don't think she thinks about it yet.
not
She
that old yet,
she's
right?
sort of like now at the point where, because I'm old, like I'll say something that's incorrect. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's a Disney star that she is trans.
Wait, so how old is she?
My daughter,
Yeah.
she's 9.
Yeah,
So
still
when we started
Yeah,
watching the
yeah.
shows, she was playing boys.
Yeah.
So like every now and again I'll be like, oh, he was on that show, when I'm thinking of the character on that show.
like that.
And she's like, no, it's a she.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're right. Like, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is good that you know this.
Yep. Yeah, the more dark stuff is still a few years away.
Oh yeah, no, I know, yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I try to. She does come home sometimes, and she's like, you know, is Donald Trump going to start a world war? Like, you know, my friends' parents are saying this. Like, my friends are
Yeah.
saying this. I'm like, your friends' parents might be like exaggerating a little bit because they're very concerned and they're scared. I was like, he might start a war.
But don't
but-
worry about it yet.
He might not.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
you know,
right.
like,
Yeah.
you know, he hasn't put your friends' same-sex parents in a prison camp yet, but it doesn't mean you can't keep an eye on it.
Doesn't mean you can't be thinking about it. It's better
Yeah.
to be thinking about it than
Yeah.
not thinking about it, but don't
Yeah.
let it scare you.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
but
Like,
also understand, like, your government does these things anyway,
Yeah.
regardless of if Donald Trump is there. Like,
Yeah.
these are built-in features of your government.
So I just think that the UBI thing is not only inevitable, but it's a really hard sell.
It is.
The guy here
Yeah.
the other night was talking less about. He's like, I want less focus on a UBI and more focus on a salary cap, and I'm like,
I don't have a problem. I don't want a salary cap.
I don't have. Well, I just don't think a salary. I think a salary cap's even harder sell.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that.
He made really good points actually.
So
on the salary
I see
cap.
what it's saying, like where it's like, you know, Jeff Bezos should have a salary cap.
Yeah,
Right.
a large one, but there should
Yeah.
be a cap.
But, you know, at the same time, like, should Jay-Z have a salary cap?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
like,
think a UBI is a better idea,
I
but
do
he had
too.
some. I wish I could play what he said,
Yeah.
but he had.
I mean, I think it's an interesting discussion to have.
yeah.
You know, I don't think that it
I'm
should
more
be
prone to
dismissed.
the UBI because
I
money
am
is
too.
made up.
Yeah.
It's either that or the correct. There's a way to do it correctly through democratic socialism, the redistribution of surplus.
Mm-hmm.
So like this guy, you have someone who owns something. You know, they have natural materials.
Yeah.
How they got it, they probably stole it and raped and pillaged towns to get it, but they have it.
Okay.
They got it. Whatever, you don't have it.
Yeah.
But you have and I'm taking this from a video I saw. I forgot the guy's name. He's like a socialist dude. Fuck. I'll try to put it in. And then you have the laborers that could take the raw materials and make a product.
Mm-hmm.
You make a product. The product is this ashtray or whatever. So this person brought 100% of what they brought to the table.
Yeah.
You brought 100% of what you brought to the table. This is 200%.
Yeah.
What you made is 200%. You sell it for 250.
Okay.
So obviously the person who brought 100 wants their 100 back.
Yeah.
The person who brought 100 wants their 100 back. But there's this 50.
Yeah.
The leftover 50 goes all to the original owner. That's the surplus. It's
Okay.
like, whoa, fuck you. Wait, why? Just because you were the original owner, you get all the surplus. It's socialism is like the surplus actually gets divided evenly through everyone that was involved in getting the 50, which is the surplus from selling the product.
Okay.
We just view it in this country as like
Well-
the people who own deserve the surplus.
So, but the person who owns the raw
Talk about
material.
a chair. You're the
Okay,
person
so
who
is
has a
he
pet.
getting the $100 as well? Oh, okay. So I
Again,
thought
it's
you were
100
saying
put in, 100 put in equals 200.
Right.
200 becomes 250.
Yeah.
100 goes back to a person who put 100 in. 100 goes back to a person who put 100 in.
Yeah.
There's the 50, which is the surplus that always goes back
Got you.
to the original owner.
Okay.
Socialism is like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you own the shit, but you weren't even here.
Yeah.
We made it. You're not getting that 50 without us. Like, there's this weird thing that's been sold to people that's just like, yeah, but he's the owner. Ownership. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't, and under capitalism, hey, man, no one's stopping you from owning your own lumber.
Nobody is.
Nobody's stopping you.
And nobody's stopping you from making a better agreement as well.
Meaning what? Like,
Meaning that the person who made the item and is getting their 100,
yeah.
you know, like, okay, I'm making you this money. I'm making you $100.
Yeah.
I want a bigger share of the surplus.
Meaning,
Meaning that, so like you have
yeah,
the person.
exactly. The labor.
Yeah.
should,
I always get scared when it's forced by a government. Like,
yeah. Okay. So you're saying that UBI is a better idea than more socialist.
yeah,
Democrat.
I think if you give
Interesting,
people,
interesting.
because UBI actually gives people income and the opportunity to.
I will say you're
develop
right.
their own
I will
businesses,
say
right?
you're right. But it is still the way business is run in this, where corporations take 100% of the surplus, is total bullshit. 100% of the surplus doesn't
Well,
make sense.
I
They're not
think-
worth 100% of the
No,
surplus.
and I agree. I think when we look at like big corporations,
Yeah.
that's like a bastardization of capitalism.
Yes.
Right? Just like when you see like communism as a bastardization of socialism. Right? Like when you have
Yes.
totalitarian
It's a
government,
you're
it's a
right.
bastardization of that.
It's the worst elements.
Yeah.
Or the worst people using the tool.
Yeah, and it's using the power of the state to, in both cases, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you look at the industries in our country that are the most regulated, they're the most corrupt, and they're the most top heavy. So, once you start getting the state involved, I think that's where you get the fucked up
Yeah.
results.
It's a yeah.
Like, I just don't think there's a system where, any system where you don't put people into it is a perfect system. And then you put people into it and it gets fucked up.
Again, here we are though, coming back to UBI is a good idea
Yeah.
because this stuff, this money, you know, $1,000 a month
Yeah.
would change everyone's life.
Everyone's, yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even be that way. Or
No.
1,000's a good number. It's
Yeah,
a good
well,
number.
whatever
it would
it
change
is.
everyone's.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not even true. There's people who make $1,000 an hour.
Yeah.
So, but they would get it.
They would get
By
it,
the
yeah.
way.
But I think once you do that, then you sort of eliminate the discussion on like, well, this is an unfair system.
Yeah, you make it a better.
You know, the UBI system is an
Yeah,
unfair
the
system.
UBI.
When you make it,
Oh,
that,
when you make sure
everybody gets
yes,
it. There's
exactly.
no like,
Yeah,
you know, that
exactly.
person's getting over because they're getting food stamps.
Yeah, you
but
have
I think
to, you have to have that element.
it also allows, like, food stamps doesn't allow somebody to lift themselves up out of a bad situation
And-
where universal basic income could.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's the nuance of UBI is difficult, and he went on Chapo Trap House recently.
Okay.
Gave a whole hour-long interview.
Yeah.
You know Chapo Trap
I do. I
House?
fucking hate it, Trapo.
I equal parts hate them and like them.
Yeah.
So, he went on there for an
Yeah.
hour, and he
Yang.
broke down the
Yeah.
So he broke down the nuance of that part of it, where it's like people already are receiving benefits from the
Yeah.
state that are sometimes over $1,000 a month, and would they have to choose? Would they have to get it additionally?
Mm-hmm.
Would that be fair? So there's nuance there, but to say that can't be figured out is a
No,
lie. It can be
and-
figured out.
I think the benefits they're getting from the state a lot of times isn't in the form of cash,
It's not
right? So it's cash at least allowed you to figure out how you're going to use it.
You could
Yeah.
you could save $12,000
Yeah.
in a year. With $12,000, you could buy a car.
Yeah, and that money actually goes back into the community too, right?
Exactly.
Or you can actually team up with people. You can't like say me, you, Darko, and Harvey.
Like great benefits, state benefits.
Yeah, say
could
we
put
each
it
had like
into a record
$1,000 a
label.
month towards. You could, right?
Oh, well, you're saying, yeah, I'm talking about state benefits that exist now.
Oh yeah, we couldn't put food stamps
Yeah, we
into a
couldn't
record
put
label.
those,
Yeah,
so
or
yeah,
if we
what
tried
you're
to sell
saying
our food stamps, we would get fucking arrested.
So what you're saying is the unrestricted $1,000 cash.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is inevitable,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to push people on. It's really hard to sell people
it is.
on.
Yeah,
Alaska already has it.
Do they? Well, because they have the subsidiaries from the
Dividend
oil
fund.
industry. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not as significant, I don't think. And
No.
you have to. I met a woman who was born and raised there, but if you leave and you're gone for like over a year, you
Yeah.
have to at least go back there and live there for another 90 days or something,
Okay.
which is not that long.
No, it's not.
But yeah, it's inevitable. Money
Yeah.
is made up.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sort of like gold standard holding anything to actual value anymore. So
Yeah, we should write some UBI. Well, we gotta also stop calling it because he doesn't even call it UBI.
Yeah. Well,
He
it also
wants it's the freedom dividend.
okay,
Ugh.
but it
works.
will play. I
It
mean, UBI
plays.
kind of sounds like UTI, which is like
or just like it's another acronym that
Yeah.
people don't fucking care.
Yeah.
And
well, it's weird because I know what universal basic income is.
Yeah.
And I saw you write it in a few tweets. I was like, what the fuck is UBI? And I had to look it up. I was
Oh.
like, oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
it's a hard sell.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Yeah.
Even the good people who
Yeah.
who
So who would be the people that you fear most getting the nomination?
Oh, well, do you mean the Democratic nomination?
Democratic nomination,
Well,
yeah.
it's not a fear. It's a I mean, like, I think that they're going to probably give it to Biden,
Yeah.
who will lose to Trump.
I don't think anybody's beating Trump, honestly.
Bernie could beat Trump.
I don't think he stands a chance.
No, I will not say he will. I will absolutely say he stands a chance.
Bernie to me is
Give
like
him the nomination, you let him loose a little bit during the actual election cycle. He'll use Trump tactics.
he's struggling in his own party right now.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
If they give him the nomination, if you get him the nomination,
Yeah.
I don't know that Warren would beat Trump because I don't know that
I
she
think
would.
she would.
I think Bernie stands a legitimate chance because he'll pop off.
Yeah. See,
Bernie
I
will pop off.
I think Bernie has the backup quarterback effect.
To who?
So just the idea of it, right? Like
His idea in general.
not his idea, the idea of Bernie.
Yeah. He's seen as a backup quarterback.
Well, he never actually got into the game, so we don't know how he would perform. But we have this idea, like, oh, he would be great. Like I don't know, like I see, like the way my dad looks at backup quarterbacks.
Perform well or not.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about whether he would win or not.
I don't think anybody's beating Trump. Honestly,
I think if anybody even stood remote chance, it would be Bernie.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he would just pop off and say some shit at the.
I
at
mean-
the debate last night or 2 nights ago, he snapped and he was like, "I wrote the damn bill" at a guy. Which is you're not supposed to snap like that
Yeah.
and say "damn," but he like. And did you see that or see
I
that?
didn't know. I
clip,
haven't
or-
watched any of it. I just saw the thing where he put his hands up. Was that?
I don't know,
Okay.
probably, but
Yeah.
it was so amazing because he's an older dude who's
Yeah.
ready to
He's ready to flip out.
Like, I wrote the damn bill. I feel like he might say some shit like that, or just crush him in a way where there's dudes who hate Trump, but they know they got to vote for him.
Yeah.
And then they see Bernie and they don't care about Bernie at all right now. But then you put him instead of Hillary, you put a Bernie there instead of Hillary because they probably didn't even pay attention till it was Hillary. Till it
Yeah.
was that they see a Bernie there and they're like, I feel like he could swing those people.
It's possible. I
He's
just
drilling into them. Everything he drills into people, they can't argue with him on policy, really. They can argue with him on the socialist stuff, but all
Yeah.
the other stuff, they already support. The Medicare stuff, they already support.
Yeah.
Trump
No,
supporters
totally.
already support that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I don't know. The rest are garbage. They're going to nominate Biden and lose.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, like, he's going to be president.
Trump.
I do,
Oh yeah, he's winning. Yeah, there's no question.
which I think is fine at this point, only because we already pulled the trick. We already fucking did it. Like,
Yeah.
It's fucking disgusting, and it's just symbolic anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's more important that he gets impeached or something, even if he wins again.
Yeah.
Or whatever, before he wins again or after. Or things happen that I can't even say on recorded podcasts. Like, I
Yeah.
wish that upon him, but I think he'll win, and what I think's scary about that is that people are going to go hyper center. We were talking about this before.
Yeah.
Hyper center if he wins again.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, maybe not if he's like against Biden.
What do you mean?
Because like say Biden wins the nomination,
Sure.
and he's the hyper center choice, right?
Right.
And he gets crushed.
Yeah.
He gets mollywopped. People aren't going to go hyper center because that's what. Think about what the Republicans did with Romney against Obama. Biden is fucking Romney.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they go hyper? Like,
And then the reaction to Biden was Trump. Right? So they realized like the hyper center shit's not going to,
yeah, I don't think that changes them though, because I'm talking about the sort of people that are, a lot of people are subconsciously racist and classist
Yeah.
and sexist, but some people work pretty hard at not being it, but the work they put into it just puts them back in the center.
Yeah.
And I feel like those people, even if Biden gets the nomination and loses, aren't going to break aren't going to break the way the right is breaking now, where they're like subconsciously racist, classist, and sexist, turned into very consciously, very proudly.
Yeah,
Racist.
but they might turn more like open to left ideas if they're like, this isn't working
It
anymore.
might be a positive.
Yeah, I'm saying it could become
sorry,
a positive.
I was
No, I'm saying I was thinking it could become like, the way
that we might agree on.
a mirror
Yeah.
reaction to what happened with Romney to Trump, a mirror reaction from Biden to whoever that next person is.
What you're saying is just sort of seeing a positive in a second Trump elect, or like at least that scenario.
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of do too.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy for me to feel that way because I'm a white guy, so it's
Yeah.
always easy for me to feel
Sure.
optimistic.
Of course,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? But I do feel it.
Yeah.
In the darkest way. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like, sure, I do need people to get more left, and there's got to be a large portion of people who are like, no way, he's never gonna win again. He's such a racist asshole. It's like
Yeah.
you don't
You're not paying
say that.
attention,
You
yeah.
never say that.
Yeah.
You only say that once a year.
yeah.
You know, so maybe he gets left again, and they're like, could you say it all the time now? Like,
Yeah, I don't think Biden stands a chance.
no, he doesn't.
I don't think, you think Bernie does. I don't think Bernie does.
does.
But I don't think any of them stand a chance, honestly.
The only one who stands a chance is Bernie. And it's because he's a crazy, kooky, old dude who will just appeal to old white
Yeah.
dudes who
I hope you're right.
yeah.
I'm not in love with Bernie myself, but
He's not part of what Biden's part of, so he
Yeah.
won't turn those
No.
people away.
yeah, I fear Biden. I fear Bernie a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so.
I fear-
So you don't
I fear
even
co-
have a single candidate that
I
you
don't
like?
have, no, I don't, I've
You gotta
actually,
read more about Yang, man.
no, I'm not like, I'm sort of at the point where,
Abolish the presidency.
well, that too, but just in general, like, I don't feel any of these parties represent anything positive other than this sort of like bullshit binary between,
Yeah.
like they don't actually have a vision. Neither of these parties have an actual vision for
Yeah.
the new century.
That's maybe where and it's not necessarily a good thing.
I don't know who
Because I'm about
does.
to use the word nihilistic.
Yeah.
That's where my maybe admiration for Yang comes in, is because he's sort of nihilistic to a lot of stuff. But,
Yeah.
but he knows mathematically that, like, give people money.
Yeah.
And like you'll remove some of the murderous fucking tension that comes from people not having
Yeah.
money.
I
You
mean-
know what I mean? Like,
I think Yang is almost, and I think in a way, like it kind of represents what I think.
yeah.
Is he's a mix of the progressive left and the left-leaning side of libertarianism.
The left.
There's a very left-leaning side of libertarianism.
So libertarianism sucks, but
Yes.
if there's a left-leaning side
There
of
is
it,
it's like it's so
that makes them not libertarian anymore.
well, I mean, they believe in like abolishing government more than anything.
Okay.
But they also believe that, all drugs should be legalized.
Okay.
Sex work should be legalized.
Yeah.
Marriage should be
If you're
whoever the
abolishing
fuck.
government, these things don't need to be legalized.
That's true. Well, it's not necessarily like the full abolition of government,
yeah.
obviously. I don't think we're ever going to have that.
No, yeah.
But, sex work should be legalized.
These are very
Marriage,
left-leaning.
they're all
libertarians.
left-leaning policies.
Yeah.
The differences are that government in general should be out of healthcare altogether. Government and employment should be out of healthcare.
Yeah.
That's like really the big difference.
Wait. So you're saying these left-leaning libertarians don't think are
They don't want government or employer
in health?
in healthcare. It should be actually like almost the way car insurance is sold.
Yeah.
Like it should be sold. You buy it as you want it. And like basically, like they believe
no,
in a
I
marketplace for it.
Yeah, there's no such thing. It's once you create a marketplace, you automatically rule out a certain amount of people that don't have bootstraps. So you got to have a
Yeah.
bootstrap to go to the marketplace.
Yeah. So I think where I differ with that idea is I think you do need some sort of
at least call it administration. You need some sort of
Yes.
administration of
Yeah.
healthcare.
yeah.
And if we all just are forced to put a bunch of fucking money into a pool,
Yeah.
but not have to think about our health care being administered to us when we break a leg.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna get administered to.
Yeah.
Because we were forced to put this money into a nationwide pool.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, I more than anything, I just think that could be an interesting realignment.
yeah.
Where if you get like we have these small disagreements on certain things, and they even like in healthcare, it could be a big disagreement.
Yeah.
But we have similar goals for like people, the way that people should be able to live their lives. I think, and neither, like, I mean, the progressive left doesn't believe in the Democratic Party. They're using it as a tool because that's the access
The
to.
Democratic Party is just
It's a corporation. Yeah.
We said the same thing at the same time. It's just
So
a corporation.
I think like it could be an interesting realignment. I think Yang kind of represents that.
Yeah.
Because Yang is, but like, I mean, I think he sees universal basic income because he's like a business person.
He sees it from a mathematical standpoint,
Yeah.
from a logical, but there's a humanist element to it because, the human body, as far as the human body goes,
Yeah.
the needs are very small.
Oh yeah, totally.
Food,
Yep.
water,
Yep.
shelter.
Yep.
Other things which I think our needs could be debated. Love.
Yeah.
No, that's about it. Like
Yeah.
outside love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anything beyond that can be debated for
Yeah.
people. Like
But
some
I mean,
people
but
like
that's
human-
something you can't regulate anyway.
love.
Yeah.
But you can regulate food, shelter.
Sure, yeah.
Oh wait, food, shelter, water, medicine.
Yeah.
So those are the only needs for to actually keep a human
Yeah.
body alive. The body part.
Yeah.
Money is what we use to,
Yeah.
to trade that stuff back and forth. That shit is made up. It's a humanistic approach.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I just think it could be an interesting realignment. That
So how does it get there? There's no path for it right now. He doesn't stand a chance.
No.
But also 30 years from now, how does he stand a chance? 10, 20, I don't know, like
I mean, I think the fact that some of the ideas that we're even talking about on a national level, that
thank
we're
God
talking about them,
is good.
30 years ago, we wouldn't think that this
Yeah.
would be in.
Laughed at.
Yeah. So I think it's a slow.
Yeah. UBI
slow
is not
ride.
being laughed at.
No.
Maybe even 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like laughed out of the room.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Don't even
Nationalized healthcare is not being laughed at anymore. Like we wouldn't discuss this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good.
I mean, think about when Obama ran for president.
Yeah.
He was against gay marriage.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, he wasn't against
He
it,
wasn't actively against it.
but
just
he wasn't
actively
like
supporting it.
I'm going to support this. He was like, the state should decide.
Yeah.
But within his presidency, that shit changed. Shit, think about Obama. Did you think in 2008 there would ever be a black president? Or 2007
Yeah,
there would ever be a
2007.
black president?
I mean, like I was in Whole Foods working when I first moved to the city.
Yeah,
They were like yelling out on the street.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember that shit. I remember I was friends with somebody and I got to go to like the Comedy Central Daily Show Colbert Report party. And like, I remember like when he won, like fucking crying I realized I wasn't
At the
crying.
party?
Yeah. Like I wasn't crying.
You were there the night of the.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wasn't
dope.
crying because he
That's a
won.
party.
I was crying because that shit all ended. Like the Bush administration.
Yeah, you're
and
just,
everything
like,
that
relieved.
represented ended. I was like, oh my God, thank God. I was happy
You gotta
Obama
do 4
won.
more years before that.
Yeah. I mean, possibly.
Yeah. No. Likely.
Yeah.
Likely.
Yeah. I mean,
4 more. These 4 went quick.
yeah, they did.
It's such a hyper.
Yeah. And the one thing that like I and it's probably easier for me like a fucking middle-aged white dude to say,
Yeah.
I'm happy that the world didn't end.
Well.
It's fucking worse than it was, without question.
Yeah. I guess it needs to get a little worse before it gets better.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's like, I think we do devilish shit all the time and have been for a long time.
Yeah.
And instead of addressing that, we're like looking at
It activated a lot
other
of
shit.
people,
It did, yeah.
but I guess the fear is. My fear is people going hyper center.
Yeah.
People my age, my friends, people that I love, who are already headed that way, just because it's so overwhelming, head even further into the hyper center.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, leave me alone. It's like, dude, it doesn't take that much.
No,
Like,
it doesn't.
Like, just say some shit. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know. I was actually having this conversation with Dez about shit like how, like when we were younger, and I think you being involved in rap music, you know this.
Yeah.
Like people throwing mad homophobic shit into their rhymes.
Oh, sure.
And not necessarily being homophobic people,
No, it's just
but just being like, that's what you say. Like, I don't mean it.
your.
we were
You get shot. You get taught to shoot a basketball on basketball. You
Yeah.
get taught to put homophobic rhymes in your rap music
But
because.
Des and I, like we were talking about, we were fortunate enough to have people near us to be like, yo,
yeah.
that shit's not cool.
Well, weird indie rap when
Yeah.
it started, it just brought that to the. It's
Yeah.
still trying to get there, but it's like, Yeah, thank God, man. Like,
But I think like those like we have a lot of conversations now, which is just people yelling at strangers, yelling at each other
yeah.
on a national level, and it's like it's not effective. And I think
know.
that's
I
like
think it spills over into real life.
I think it does, but I think a lot of the times, like the way that it's viewed, like the reason I changed the way I looked at it was because somebody near me was able to be like, you know, they're like, that's actually offensive. I'm like, no, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. Like it's
Someone in the room with you.
Somebody
was
in the
able to
room,
say
like a
it, not
friend.
Someone, yeah.
my wife, actually, she was like, well, you know, our friend Rocco,
Yeah.
he would be hurt by this. And I was like, oh shit.
You're like, I don't want to hurt Rocco. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I
but
won't do
that was
anymore.
like
That's an easy decision.
that was the
Like,
type of thing that
yeah.
made me like change the way I viewed. So I think like maybe smaller conversations is the way to like change people.
But that's not gonna happen. So
I don't think
the
it
tool
can.
has to be used.
It has to be used.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Video's gonna change a lot because FaceTime is still in its infancy.
Yeah.
And video communication, like I've been doing online tutorials for people, and when that stuff gets really big, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
We got it's getting hot in here now. Had the AC off for a
Yeah.
while.
And now I got big old sweat pits. Facebook is bad because people are bad.
No, I think Facebook is bad because it works with the CIA. I think, okay.
Yeah.
So the CIA is bad because people are bad. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more of the belief like that people are like things are fucked up because of people, not because of systems.
I'm not. I don't think we agree on that. I think
Yeah.
that I don't think we agree on that.
No, I mean, fair enough.
Because I think that again, think of that Rat City experiment, right?
Yeah.
So you put that system, you give people shit to do that they don't hate.
Yeah.
From when they wake up in the morning
Sure.
to when they go to sleep. Think about everyone tomorrow who wakes up in the morning and like what they have to do first is something that they're like, I don't like doing this. I hate doing this.
Yeah.
And you change that with a switch. You go, when you wake up, you can do what you want to do, have some fun.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, or whatever. You could do what you want to do. No one's going to be fucking, like, the level of people upset at one another for no reason will drop. How much do you think? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I don't know if it will though. I think we want to be upset with each other right
I
now.
don't know, man. You
Like,
think about. This is such an ideal. But think about what I'm saying. You flip that switch, and
Sure.
everybody, when they wake up tomorrow, is like, oh, you're going to. And you think about when you have something to do tomorrow that you can't wait to do.
Sure, yeah.
You wake up and you're doing that. You're not gonna come up with this. It's still gonna happen, but I think that it's to be such a drastic reduction in people looking for other people to scapegoat.
Think about how much we know about the way that those things work.
what things.
Social media,
Okay, so now
like
you're
just
still
social
talking-
media for an example.
yeah.
Like we know that they're taking our information and selling it because that's the
Okay.
only model that works for them on a business level. We know that they have algorithms that work towards our basis instincts and the things that are going to drive us crazy because they know that those are the things that are going to actually spark
us.
interaction. Yet we still go there every fucking day.
But okay,
Yeah.
what is your why?
What is my why? Meaning
Why are people still going there every day?
because we love it.
Okay, why?
Why?
You just think they so I because I have an answer. I'll
Okay,
I'll
well,
give you my
so-
answer as to why.
So I think we love it because I think right now we like fighting.
Okay.
And I don't put that blame on Facebook
No.
or Twitter or anything. Like it's on us.
See, I have a different answer as to why you keep
Okay.
going back.
Okay.
Because of all the amazing shit there.
There's a lot of amazing shit there.
I
Yeah.
think it outweighs. So I get that it's like literally
Yeah.
49 to 51.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
And yeah, again, I think it's easy for me, but like, yeah. That's what. So yeah, I think that people, because their human bodies are born. I think that the human body, it's born. I don't have children, but like the way I view it is like you're not. If you're just fulfilled, even on the most base level, where
Yeah.
you're not like, I don't want to fucking. Why are you forcing me to do this shit?
Yeah.
Like, because that happens from such an early age. School, everything is part of this system that's like this made up thing where to keep the human body alive, we have to generate
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's not true. And
No.
if you just and it's fake, so it's a myth. So just implemented or like whatever cash and or whatever people need to just
Yeah.
not have to be forced to go. So would certain industries crumble?
Crumble if we didn't do this.
sanitation crumble. No one wakes up in the morning, I don't think, and goes, I can't wait. It's not something that the human body is like,
Yeah.
I gotta get out there,
But
pick up people's garbage.
sanitation is a need, though.
It's a need.
Yeah.
So I guess that you'd have to find other ways to incentivize. You
Yeah.
have to be like, everyone's got this basic comfort of living.
Yeah.
You want fucking triple that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't eliminate that.
No.
Giving people free money and housing doesn't eliminate the opportunity for you to go, oh yeah, motherfucker, I'm getting up at 5 a.m. to
I'm gonna do
fucking
this shit
drive
I
this
love.
truck because I want 3 floors in my house.
Yeah.
Thank God someone needs to do it. Here's the extra money to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got there, but
I don't know, but I mean, I hear what you're saying. Like, I think we also have to change the way that we look at sanitation.
well,
and
because we
stuff
were
like
talking
that.
about whether people are inherently good or bad.
Yeah.
You're saying you think that they're
Like, I think one of the things, and I've seen you tweet about this, like, sort of like devaluing humans into like a dollar amount,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think like, and we do this subconsciously, like when we look at sanitation, like, oh, he's a fucking trash man.
Yeah.
Right?
Did I just do that?
No, not you.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
wondering, though, 'cause, like,
no, you
so-
didn't. I don't think you did that.
Because it's this sort of thing where it's like, yeah, keep going with what you're saying.
So it's basically the idea of like every job has its value.
right.
Like, we need to see like there is a value in there, and the person doing that is a value person, right?
Yes.
So sanitation, like, that person is contributing to the community. They're fucking,
Yeah.
their parents, their sons, their daughters. But they're also, making our environment clean. We're not rat infested, and
Yeah, the reason every job has a purpose and a value and should be paid, like, is because no one. That's what I'm saying. Like, no one wakes up and is like, yeah, well, there might be some valueless jobs, but it all, yeah,
Like
that's
marketer.
interesting, right? No. Because
publicist.
no, because that's just such a subset of a job.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, that's like, you're,
That's just my own bitterness towards like the music industry.
no, but I'm wondering, right? Like, that's a good idea, because I'm trying to think of one, and you're thinking of ones that like kind of work for me, but
Yeah.
they don't really, because it's like linked to, because artists, is that really such a necessary thing for the world? And it is, because people wither without any sort of art,
Yeah.
or mental, physical, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, these are interesting conversations we're having.
Yeah, they are.
We talked some about music.
We didn't talk much about
We
music
talked
at
a lot
all.
about music, talked a lot about politics, which is dope. This will only be like depending on when I release this will be like the 6th or 7th
Okay.
episode. Like I said, the volume.
Nice.
I found a picture of myself that I liked from a few years back, and it was black and it's white. Before I backed on the years, and it was clear to the sight. I let myself go to shit without so much as a fight. It was nice to see myself as I once was, and as I need to be again, it's a lump sum. Add it all together and I'll tear it apart. So when I woke up this morning, it was clearly a start. I've been running in place, stuck in the quicksand. A few metaphors that held up like a kickstand. A lot of talks about this plan or that plan. My course of action was let's see what happens. But that life is finally taking its toll, because the mill of highlights I find will taking control. And that's not the man that I planned to be. Plant the seed, antithesis that exists is my fantasies. I'll see where this road goes. I see myself, I seem happy and so close. Had it all once before, but sure it was a while back. And while that was hopeful, there's just no one to redial that. I know it seems so mortaling, and more than that, and more exact, so Freudian. I really need to stop.
The album that I'm obsessed with right now is this band Idols.
Idols. I feel like I know that name. What kind of music is it?
IDLES. It's like punk.
Okay.
Heavy punk.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. They're like hyper anti-fascist.
Nice.
They kind of came out of nowhere. They're older dudes.
Okay.
And crushed Glastonbury, this
Okay.
festival.
Yeah.
This huge festival.
Yeah.
And now they're going to spend the rest of this year exploding. So
Nice.
I just randomly saw them on a NPR Tiny Desk concert.
Okay.
And I've been obsessed with them for
Nice.
5
And
days. I'll play some.
is
for
it
you.
IDLES?
Yeah.
I'm looking that up right now. As much as I complain about Spotify, where do I go first? Spotify.
I fucking look, man. These to me being such a such an obsessive fan of music, I love these apps.
Yeah.
And I don't love what becomes of the art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, or what is and could and will happen to the art being put on it, but I'm in love with the access that.
Yeah.
So I don't, you know.
So I mean, I agree with you on that. Like, I think it's an amazing thing. What I don't love about it, and it's the same thing I don't love about like music journalism,
Okay.
or like publicists or radio people, is that there's within those communities.
Yeah.
To me, at least, it seems they visualize themselves as more important than the art.
But yeah, like,
And it's like it's a parasitic relationship with the art.
but I don't. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess I just don't fuck with the people who are you. So do you think that there's people who have that view who are working with good people?
Yeah, I do.
And it's sort of only because it's like it's the status quo, or
Yeah.
it's like this parasitic relationship, because parasitic relationships imply you sort of need a host and a
Yeah. No, I mean,
yeah.
but I don't know if musicians necessarily need all of those things. Like, I just think of like online journalism right now.
That's different. So online journalism, and I think online journalism should be, in my opinion,
Online music
separated.
journalism specifically.
Online music journalism should be separated from the mechanisms of publicists, and when you're crossing over, it's bad. But the
Yeah.
original, because there are I work with so many artists who, and this frustrates me. I'm like, you won't send one email, one, and it's like, no, and I'm like, you're so talented, send an email.
Yeah.
They refuse. So those mechanisms, I think, wouldn't exist unless they do genuinely.
I guess so, yeah.
There's so many talented people who, and this is again not a good thing, because I think they could change their own lives
Yeah.
if they would just be like, my dude, you're talking about, I know it's hard, you have to answer emails
Yeah.
and make phone calls, and it's like, no, never, I'm an artist.
Yeah. Well, no, I get
you
it.
said about
Yeah.
that. It's never
But
changed.
I have a
It's not
problem with
gonna
those
change.
types of artists too. Like,
I
to
do.
me, you know?
I do. I have a fundamental problem with them, but luckily, you know what I mean. These are people who are such good friends of mine. And,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean.
No,
Who-
exactly.
who's
Once you
just a
humanize
fundamental
somebody,
problem,
it's hard to have like those.
It doesn't affect their politics. So I remain friends and want to support these people, but it's like, I know that they're not going to change.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to change.
Yeah.
Well, that's bullshit. There is a reason for them to
There
change.
is,
They could
but
be a better.
but I think you and
music
I
journalism thing is different.
You and I come from a completely DIY
yeah.
aesthetic. Like, that's
Yeah.
our approach to
But I'm
art.
saying even people who are DIY, the do it
Yeah.
yourself. Sometimes they can't go beyond the creating amazingly beautiful piece of art.
Yeah.
I did that myself. I don't have the capacity to put it into the world.
Yeah.
And that sucks, but I do buy it for some people,
Yeah.
where I'm just like, fuck you, dude.
But even that, to me, like, I would rather be like, find somebody that's your friend
yeah,
that does that.
Okay.
Like, I'm talking about like an agency, like a PR agency.
Sure.
Like, because
But that friend would be your publicist.
it would be. But
it's-
that's somebody that believes in your vision.
Believes in your vision,
Doesn't
yeah.
believe it. Doesn't see you as a
industry
dollar
itself
sign.
is parasitic, yeah.
That's more what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, online journalism is a whole nother story, just because I've seen that it's actually useless.
Yeah, it has such potential, and it's been used so well in the past,
Yeah.
and that all degraded, I guess, over the course of the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I've seen is like the one online outlet that actually yields results for me as far as sales.
Like that you will,
Like that
your
is the-
music will go to,
Like, my music will be written about,
and then a
and then
person
there's
will buy a
sales.
record. Yeah.
It's fucking Philip Millar on Bandcamp.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah.
Or Philip
Bandcamp.
Milner. I always call him Millar, but Philip Milner. He's like the only motherfucker.
Yeah, we've talked about Bandcamp before, and he's a big part of Bandcamp.
Yeah.
I don't know I know he's, what he does, what I've done with him and what's seen him do, he's a writer for
Yeah.
them. I don't know what else. Other
Yeah,
mechanisms
that's
he
my
touches,
experience with him as
but
well.
he's a big writer
Yeah.
on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Bandcamp is incredible.
Yeah.
That's music journalism done in a way that through what Bandcamp sort of believes in, that's like, I'm not going to do this unless I really like it, and
Yeah.
don't care about the coolness of it, or yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I could just be jaded because like I've
No,
fucking,
trust
like,
me, I'm jaded too, and like it's
dealt with like
interesting. the
interviews and record reviews where it's like you're not even talking about my record.
dude, you go.
You're talking about like shit that you want to talk about.
Yeah, you also go. You have 2 different eras under your belt that I don't.
Yeah.
Or you have one separate era under your belt that I don't. So it's super interesting to see your perspective on it. Like I definitely printed CDs.
Yeah.
And sold them like CDRs and stuff.
Yeah.
But I never had it like shrink wrapped or through a thing.
Yeah. Well, I've had like through jokes
at
I've
the
had
end
all
of that era.
Like I had store placement.
Yeah,
I had fucking
exactly.
like end caps. I had publicists. I had radio people. I had fucking managers. And you just see like you saw it with Def Jokes. Like this is a perfect example. All the publicists, all the journalists, all the radio people, all like the product people. Like the people are like, you know, we want to license your music to.
But who did they work
sell
for?
Levi's. They worked for other
agencies.
Other agencies,
and they were contacting Def Jokes.
Yeah, they only care about you, like while your shit is cool.
Yeah,
like it's like they see you as a dollar sign. Like the second like there was like Def Jokes, all the Def Jokes journalists and like publicists were like, we're tired of Def Jokes. We want to talk about Dipset.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you saw
but
that
you know
with
what
indie
though,
hip-hop
man.
thing.
I lived through that, and that was a reflection of, I think, the people.
I think some of it was.
Astronautilus has this lyric that has never left my mind.
Okay.
Never left my mind, and it wasn't even on one of his albums. It was on one of his mixtapes, which most people haven't even heard. Which was, I'm gonna bastardize it. I can't get it right. I'm gonna play it after this. But the end of the punchline was like, and I just want to hear pretty things.
Yeah.
And it was a reflection of like this really heavy art.
Yeah.
It's really amazing that people fucked with for a very long time, but you get overwhelmed by it.
Yeah,
And
well,
you just want to hear Dipset.
And I totally get that. It's more the sort of like wholesale abandonment, not by fans, but by the people that are like, oh, you're the best. We love you. We want to work with you. Like,
But you did get abandoned by fans.
somewhat, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like fandom is fickle.
It is. But it's also when you have like the sort of
Yeah,
a lot
when
of
you-
fans when you have the mechanisms of what tells you what to listen to,
Sure, when you
shifting on a dime.
Pile that on top
Yeah.
of it, you don't stand a chance.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
It's like
That-
give me a chance, but you don't even stand a chance. 'Cause
the music
mechanism is piled on top
of that
it.
era, the indie music of that era, by 2008, it needed a change. I totally get that. Because it was fucking rote and boring and like everybody was just doing the same thing. There's little like innovation and inspiration.
I guess, but yeah, there was. It wasn't changing very much at that time.
No. Like it was just
Those people themselves needed to stop, listen to some other
Yeah.
shit,
and then go back.
and be influenced.
Well,
again.
because you see that now. Like you see like a lot of people from that era are like making some of their best music right now.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Let's think. Is there anything we could just cut it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with that.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was
Let's
fucking
play
great.
some music and talk about music and stuff now.
Okay, cool.
All right, sweet.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
No problem.